Okay, so off-page SEO. I think we can all agree it's a bit of a mystery sometimes. Kind of like, it's important, but how do you actually make it work?
Yeah, it can be confusing. And today we're going to try to make sense of one piece of that puzzle.
We're going deep on how you can use social media to boost your SEO.
And we've got this awesome guide that breaks it all down.
Perfect. So it's off-page SEO dot, meaning stuff happening outside your website to help you rank better,
Right. And the thing about social media is Google said pretty clearly it's not a direct ranking factor.
which is where people get tripped up. So why bother then?
But there's the catch. Even if it doesn't directly boost your ranking, social media has a huge indirect impact.
Okay, I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
Think of it this way. Your website content might be amazing. But if it's only reaching people who are already searching for those keywords, you're missing out on a huge audience.
Makes sense. It's like you've built this amazing store, but no one knows how to find it.
Exactly. Social media is like putting up signs all over town, pointing people to your awesome store.
So it's about visibility.
Yes. Social media platforms act like these massive megaphones, broadcasting your content way beyond just your website visitors, people who might never have found you through Google alone.
That makes sense. So someone scrolling through Facebook sees something interesting you posted and boom, they end up on your website.
Exactly. They might not have even been searching for that topic, but they see it, they're intrigued, they click, and now they're learning about you and what you offer.
And that brings us to traffic generation, right? More eyeballs on your social media means more potential clicks to your website.
100%. Every share, every retweet, every pin, they're all potential pathways for new visitors to discover your website.
Okay, so we've got increased visibility and traffic. What other SEO goodies can we squeeze out of social media?
Well, if you're active and engaging on social media, it shows people and Google that you're a serious player in your field.
You mean it helps with brand building?
Exactly. When people see you sharing valuable insights, participating in conversations, interacting with your audience, they start to think of you as an authority.
Instead of just another random website.
Right. And that kind of credibility can do wonders for your SEO. Think about it. When people are searching for info, they're more likely to click on links from sources they recognize and trust.
Okay, makes sense. But what about backlinks? Those are still gold for Google, right? Can social media help with that too?
Absolutely. Imagine you write an amazing blog post, share it on your social media, and it starts getting shared, retweeted, discussed.
It goes viral.
Well, maybe, but the point is, the more your content is out there and being talked about, the greater the chances of other websites linking to it as a source.
So social media is like this catalyst for backlink magic.
You got it. And don't forget about engagement.
Ah, yes. Engagement. It's not just about posting. It's about chatting with people. But how does that boost SEO?
Well, Google pays attention to how people interact with your website. If people are clicking through from your social media, spending time on your site, leaving comments, sharing your stuff.
It shows Google your website is actually interesting and is valuable.
Exactly.
Mhm.
It's like sending Google these little signals that say, hey, people love this. It's worth checking out.
Okay, so I'm convinced social media is like this secret SEO weapon. But let's get practical. What can people actually do to make this work for them?
Let's start with the basics. Your social media profiles, those are like your digital storefront.
You mean first impressions matter?
Big time. Make sure your branding is consistent across platforms, your descriptions are clear, and you've got a clear link back to your website.
So consistent branding, clear message, link back to the website, check, check, check. But what about keywords? Do those matter on social media?
It's not the same as website SEO, but yes, using relevant keywords in your profiles can help you show up in searches within those platforms.
Gotcha. So if someone's searching for, say, healthy recipes on Pinterest, and your profile says you're a health food blogger.
You're more likely to pop up in the results, like internal SEO for each platform.
Okay, profiles are optimized, keywords are sprinkled. What's next?
Content, of course, still king. Sharing your website content regularly on social media is crucial.
Okay, share, share, share. But how do you make sure that content is actually engaging? Because social media can be noisy.
That's where it gets fun. It's not just about reposting the same thing everywhere. You got to tailor your content for each platform.
Like Instagram is all about visuals, right?
Exactly. Photos, videos, that kind of thing. LinkedIn, on the other hand, is more about articles and professional insights.
So know your platform, know your audience, and don't forget hashtags.
Ah, yes, hashtags. Those are your secret weapon for discoverability. Use a mix of popular and niche hashtags to reach a wider audience and target the right people.
So research those hashtags, folks. Don't just throw any old thing in there.
Exactly. Okay, so we're posting consistently, tailoring our content, using hashtags strategically. What else?
Engagement. You got to chat with people, right?
Yes, responding to comments, participating in conversations, building those relationships. It shows social media algorithms that your content is worth boosting.
So engagement equals more visibility.
You got it.
Right.
And more visibility equals more traffic, more potential customers, and ultimately better SEO results.
It's a beautiful cycle.
It is. Now, even with great content and engagement, sometimes you need a little extra push. That's where promotion comes in.
You mean like paid ads?
Well, sometimes. But promotion can also be about creating content that's just designed to be shared. Think infographics, catchy videos, thought-provoking questions.
Stuff that makes people want to hit that share button.
Exactly. And yes, sometimes a little paid advertising can be helpful too, especially to reach a wider audience.
Okay, so we're optimizing profiles, creating tailored content, using hashtags, engaging, promoting, anything else.
One last crucial step. Track, measure, adjust.
Because data is king. But what are we tracking exactly?
Things like clicks from social media to your website, how much people are engaging with your posts, how your follower count is growing.
And most importantly, are those social media efforts actually leading to more business?
Exactly. You need to see what's working, what's not, and adjust your strategy accordingly.
So it's like a science experiment, but for your website.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm feeling a lot more confident about this whole social media for SEO thing. It's a lot to juggle, but I'm starting to see how it all fits together.
It is a lot, but remember, you don't need to be perfect on every platform. Focus on the ones that make the most sense for your business and where your audience hangs out.
Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Now, there's one more thing I want to mention before we move on.
I'm listening.
It's important to think about social media and SEO as partners, not separate entities.
They work best when they're, like, in sync.
Exactly. When you align your social media strategy with your SEO goals, you create this awesome feedback loop. Social media drives traffic to your website, which just tells Google your content is valuable, which boosts your search rankings. And the higher you rank, the more visible you become. It's a beautiful cycle.
It's like this online ecosystem where everything works together.
That's a great way to put it. Okay, ready to dive into some platform-specific tips?
Hit me with them. Let's start with the granddaddy of them all. Facebook.
Okay, so with Facebook, the foundation is a well-optimized business page.
You mean making sure your profile picture, cover image, description, it all looks good and tells people what you're about?
Exactly. Use keywords in your description too. And most importantly, post consistently. A mix of content, links to your website, images, videos. Keep things interesting.
Gotcha. So, polished page, consistent posting, and engaging content. What about Facebook groups? Are those still relevant?
Oh, absolutely. Groups are a fantastic way to connect with your target audience, build a community, and yes, drive traffic back to your website.
So find groups that are relevant to your industry and
Participate. Don't just spam them with links. Share your expertise, answer questions, be a valuable member of the community.
Got it. So Facebook page, engaging in groups, sharing valuable content. Anything else we need for Facebook SEO success?
Don't forget about Facebook Live.
Oh yeah, live video.
It's a great way to connect with your audience in real time, show off your personality, answer questions.
Like a virtual open house for your brand.
Exactly. And if you want to give your content an extra boost, Facebook ads can be really effective too.
Okay, so Facebook,
Okay.
optimized page, consistent posting, groups, live video, strategic ads. Got it.
Now, what about Instagram? It's all about the visuals, right?
100%. High-quality images and videos are a must on Instagram. But it's not just about pretty pictures. You got to think about your overall aesthetic, your brand voice, the kind of content that will resonate with your audience.
Okay, so what kind of content works well on Instagram? A mix of everything. Behind-the-scenes peeks at your business, product demos, customer testimonials, inspiring quotes, user-generated content, and of course, those stunning visuals that capture your brand's personality.
So it's about telling a visual story that people connect with.
You got it. And don't forget about Instagram stories.
Oh yeah, stories. What are those good for?
They're perfect for sharing quick updates, behind-the-scenes glimpses, and engaging with your audience in a more casual, authentic way.
Stories like a sneak peek into the daily life of your brand.
Exactly. And then you've got Reels, which are those short, engaging videos.
Those are super popular. They're kind of like TikTok, right?
Kind of, but they can be great for showcasing your creativity, reaching a wider audience, and driving traffic back to your website.
Okay, so Instagram. High-quality visuals, diverse content, engaging stories, creative reels. And, of course, hashtags.
Oh yeah, tons of hashtags on Instagram. Use a mix of popular ones and more niche ones to reach both a wider audience and your specific target customer.
Okay, Facebook, Instagram.now. What about LinkedIn? That one feels like a different beast altogether.
LinkedIn is definitely more professional, so your content strategy needs to reflect that.
No cat videos on LinkedIn.
Maybe not, unless they're wearing tiny suits. But seriously, think thought leadership articles, industry insights, company updates, career advice, that kind of thing.
So instead of sharing what I had for lunch, I'm sharing my insights on the latest marketing trends.
Exactly. And don't forget about LinkedIn articles. Writing articles directly on LinkedIn is a fantastic way to establish your expertise, reach a wider professional audience, and drive traffic back to your website.
Got it. So LinkedIn is all about showcasing your expertise, building your professional network, and sharing valuable content that will resonate with other professionals.
Exactly. Now let's talk about Twitter. Is that still relevant for SEO?
I've heard people say it's dying. What do you think?
Twitter is definitely evolving, but it's still a great platform for real-time conversations, industry news, and connecting with thought leaders.
So it's less about long, drawn-out articles and more about quick, snappy conversations.
Right. Use Twitter to share links to your blog posts, retweet interesting articles, jump into trending conversations, and of course, use those hashtags.
Twitter, it's all about staying in the loop and being part of the conversation. And hashtags, of course. Okay, so we've covered Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter. What about YouTube?
YouTube is a powerhouse for SEO, but it's a whole other world in a way.
You mean it's not just about uploading random videos and hoping people find them?
Well, you could do that, but
Yeah.
if you want to actually use YouTube for SEO, you got to be strategic. Think of YouTube as its own search engine.
Wait a minute.
People use YouTube to find information, entertainment, tutorials, all kinds of stuff. So you need to create videos that are optimized for search.
Ah, so it's like SEO for your videos.
Exactly. Do your keyword research, include those keywords in your video titles, descriptions, and tags.
So we're treating our YouTube videos like miniature web pages, optimizing them for specific keywords.
Precisely. And don't forget about the visuals. Use eye-catching thumbnails, make sure your videos are well edited, and have engaging intros and outros.
Okay, so YouTube. Keyword research, optimized titles and descriptions, and engaging visuals.
And don't forget to promote your YouTube videos on your other social media channels.
Cross-promotion. Gotcha. This has been a whirlwind tour of social media for SEO. It's a lot, but I'm starting to see how powerful social media can be for boosting your online presence and driving traffic to your website.
It is a lot to take in, but remember, the key is to focus on the platforms that make the most sense for your business and your target audience.
Right. Quality over quantity.
Exactly. Now, before we move on, there are a few other key concepts I want to touch on.
Fire away.
Our guide mentions something called open graph tags. Have you heard of those?
Open graph tags. Sounds kind of technical.
They are a little technical, but the concept is simple. They're basically little snippets of code that tell social media platforms how to display your content when it's shared.
So instead of just seeing a plain link, you get that nice preview with a picture and a description.
Exactly. It's much more enticing for people to click on something that looks good and gives them a taste of what to expect.
Makes sense. It's like,
Oh.
the difference between a boring text invite and a fancy invitation to a party.
That's a great analogy. And the best part is, adding those open graph tags to your website is usually pretty easy. Most website platforms have plugins or built-in features for it.
Okay, so open graph tags, check. What about this social listening thing?
Ah, yes, social listening. It's basically like having your ear to the ground on social media.
You mean spying on people?
Not exactly spying, but more like strategic observing. You're monitoring social media for mentions of your brand, your industry, your competitors, anything relevant to your business.
So you're setting up alerts or something for certain keywords and seeing what people are saying.
Exactly. It's a fantastic way to stay in the loop and see what people are saying about you. But it can also help you find opportunities for, you guessed it, backlinks.
Ah, we're back to backlinks. How does that work?
Let's say you find a blog post that mentions your company, but they didn't link to your website. That's a perfect opportunity to reach out and politely suggest adding a link.
It's just like a gentle nudge in the right direction.
Exactly. You can also use social listening to find influencers in your industry who are talking about topics related to your business. That can lead to collaborations, guest blogging spots, and, you guessed it, more backlinks.
I'm sensing a theme here. Backlinks, backlinks, backlinks.
They're important. Okay, one more thing before we move on.
Okay.
This is an important mindset shift. You know how we usually create content for our websites first and then think about how to share it on social media?
Yeah, that's how I usually do it.
Well, there's this idea of social first content.
Which means,
You're thinking about how your content will perform on social media before you even put it on your website.
interesting. So you're like reverse engineering the process.
Exactly. You're asking yourself, what types of content work best on each platform? What will grab people's attention? How can I spark conversations and encourage sharing?
So instead of trying to make your website content fit into social media, you're crafting it with social media in mind from the start.
Exactly. And the best part is, content that's engaging and shareable on social media often works great on your website too.
So it's a win-win.
It is. Okay, I think we've covered a lot of ground here. We've talked about why social media matters for SEO, even if it's not a direct ranking factor. And we've explored some key strategies for making it work for you.
It's been a lot to process, but in a good way. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand how to use social media to boost my SEO efforts.
I'm glad to hear that. And we're not done yet. In the next part of our deep dive, we'll be exploring some of the awesome tools and resources that can help you streamline your social media and SEO efforts.
Sounds good. Looking forward to it.
Welcome back to our deep dive.
Where we're figuring out how to make social media work for our SEO, not against it.
Exactly. And today, we're going even deeper.
Okay, I'm ready. What have we got?
Let's talk about syncing your social media campaigns with your SEO efforts.
Syncing. Okay, you're going to have to explain that one.
So imagine you've just published this amazing blog post on your website. You know, keywords are perfect, links are all set up, you're feeling good.
Yeah, you're like, world, here's my masterpiece.
Exactly. But to really maximize the impact of that blog post, you got to bring social media into the mix.
Okay, so we're not just sharing a link on Twitter and calling it a day.
Nope. We're talking full-fledged campaign here. Create eye-catching visuals for Instagram, write a killer thread on Twitter, maybe even a little teaser video for Facebook.
So tailor the message for each platform.
Exactly. Each platform has its own strengths, its own way of grabbing attention.
Makes sense. And timing is important too.
Oh, yeah. You want to schedule those posts for when people are actually online and scrolling.
Maximize those eyeballs.
Yeah.
And while we're at it, we can use social media to figure out what our audience actually wants to see more of.
Absolutely. Pay attention to what gets the most likes, shares, comments that tells you what's resonating.
So Instagram loves those behind-the-scenes videos. Great, I'll make more of those. LinkedIn wants in-depth articles. Gotcha.
Exactly. You're using social media to guide your content creation. It's a beautiful cycle.
Love it. Now, there was this thing in our guide, social first content. What's that all about?
Social first content is about changing how we think about content creation.
Instead of starting with the website and then adapting for social media?
Flip it. Start with social media in mind.
Okay, so let's say I'm writing about, I don't know, sustainable fashion trends.
Right. With a social first approach, you might start by thinking, what kind of images or quotes would really grab people on Instagram or Pinterest?
And then I'd use those as the foundation for the blog post itself.
Exactly. You're creating content that's naturally engaging and shareable, which benefits both social media and your website.
I'm liking this social first thing. What else can we do to make sure social media is really working for our SEO?
Okay. Have you ever heard of UTM parameters?
UTM parameters. Sounds a little scary.
They're not scary. They're just little tags you add to the end of your URLs.
For what?
Tracking. They let you see exactly where your website traffic is coming from.
So if someone clicks on a link for my Facebook page, I can see that in my website analytics.
Yep. You can track which platforms, which campaigns, even which individual posts are bringing people to your site.
That's amazing. So we can see what's working and do more of that.
Exactly. Data-driven decision-making, my friend. Speaking of data, how do we know if our efforts are actually paying off?
Yeah, what should we be measuring?
It depends on your goals, but some key things to look at are referral traffic, engagement, brand mentions, and of course, conversions.
Okay, break it down for me. Referral traffic, that's just how many people are clicking through to our website from social media, right?
Right. Your website analytics will show you that.
So I can see how much traffic is coming from Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, etc.
Exactly. Now, engagement.
Isn't that just likes and comments and stuff?
It's more than that. It's about how people are interacting with your content. Are they sharing it? Clicking on links, starting conversations.
So it's quality over quantity.
Okay, you got it. Now, brand mentions.
That's just when people are talking about us online.
Where they tagging you, sharing your content, saying nice things.
Or not so nice things.
Yikes. Well, hopefully mostly nice things. But keeping an eye on brand mentions can help you spot potential PR issues before they blow up. And it can also help you find opportunities to connect with people who are already talking about your brand or industry.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay, last one. Conversions. The big kahuna.
Yep. Conversions are what it's all about. We want our social media efforts to actually lead to business results, whether that's sales, leads, signups, whatever your goal is.
So how do we track that?
Most analytics platforms let you set up conversion goals and see how many of those goals are coming from social media traffic.
So we can actually see which social media posts are leading to actual sales.
Exactly. You can even use those UTM parameters we talked about to track specific campaigns.
Wow, data is power. Okay, so we're tracking everything, making adjustments as we go.
It's all about continuous improvement.
I love it. Okay, before we get to the tools and resources, I have one more question.
Hit me.
We've talked a lot about tailoring content for different platforms, but what if I want to create content that works well on both social media and my website?
Hmm?
Is that even possible?
Totally. It's about finding that sweet spot where your content is engaging and visually appealing enough for social media, but also substantial and valuable enough for your website.
Just like a balancing act.
Exactly. Think about visuals, infographics, videos, data visualizations. Those tend to do well on both.
People love visuals.
They do. Also, break up your content into bite-sized chunks. Instead of one giant blog post, maybe a series of shorter posts.
Easier to digest, easier to share.
Right. And don't forget about storytelling. People love a good story, whether it's a personal anecdote, a case study, or behind-the-scenes glimpse of your business.
Makes it more relatable and memorable.
Exactly. And remember, you can always repurpose your content. Adapt that blog post into a series of tweets or an infographic.
Get the most mileage out of it.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder.
I think we've covered just about everything there is to know about syncing social media and SEO.
We have.
So what's next on the agenda?
Let's move on to that treasure trove of tools and resources our guide talks about.
Yes, let's get into those. I need all the help I can get. Okay, so tools and resources. Hit me with your favorites.
All right, let's start with managing all those social media accounts. It can get overwhelming, right?
Tell me about it.
Yeah.
Between Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, it's like a full-time job just keeping up.
That's where a tool like Hootsuite comes in. It's basically mission control for your social media.
Hootsuite. Okay, I've heard of it, but never actually used it. What's so great about it?
You can manage multiple accounts from one place, schedule posts, monitor mentions, track your analytics. It's a lifesaver.
So instead of logging in and out of 5 different platforms, I could do it all in Hootsuite.
Exactly. Saves you tons of time. And speaking of time-saving tools, there's also Buffer.
Buffer, is that similar to Hootsuite?
They're both social media management platforms, yeah. Buffer is great for scheduling and curating content, really user-friendly.
So Hootsuite and Buffer, kind of similar, but with their own strengths.
Right. Which one's better for you depends on what features you need most.
Okay, so those are for managing social media in general. What about tools for specific things like content analysis?
For that, you got to check out BuzzSumo.
BuzzSumo. Okay, that one's new to me. What does it do?
It helps you see what content is doing well in your industry, find influencers who are sharing similar stuff, and track your own social media performance.
So I can see what's going viral. That's cool.
It's like having a secret window into what's working on social media. And if you want even more in-depth analytics, there's Sprout Social.
So Sprout Social is kind of like a BuzzSumo's big brother.
Yeah, something like that. More
Yeah.
features, more data, more insights.
Okay, noted. Now, for content creation, I already use Canva, love that one. But what other tools are out there?
Canva is awesome, super easy to use, great for creating visuals.
Even if you're not a designer.
Exactly. And if you want to create animated graphics or videos, check out Animaker.
Animated graphics, those are fun.
Yeah, they can really help you stand out on social media. Okay, now specifically for Twitter, there's TweetDeck.
TweetDeck, that's like the power user's Twitter, right?
Yep. Manage multiple accounts, schedule tweets, track hashtags, monitor conversations, all in one place.
Okay, that sounds intense, but probably useful if you're serious about Twitter.
Definitely. Now, let's talk about some SEO tools that are also helpful for social media.
SEO tools for social media.
Yeah. Think about it. You need to know what keywords people are searching for, right?
Makes sense.
So a tool like SEMrush can be super helpful. It's great for keyword research, competitor analysis, and even checking your website for any SEO issues.
So I could use SEMrush to see what keywords are trending in my industry and then use those in my social media posts.
Exactly. And then there's RFs, which is really good for analyzing backlinks.
Backlinks, there's that word again.
Yeah, they're important. RFs can help you find opportunities to get other websites to link to yours.
So many tools, so little time. But seriously, this is great. It's like having a whole toolbox for social media and SEO success.
It is. But remember, tools are just tools. You still need a good strategy and a genuine desire to connect with your audience.
Right. No tool can replace actual human connection.
Yeah.
Okay, one last question. How do we know if all this effort is actually working? What should we be measuring?
Great question. It depends on your specific goals, but some key metrics to look at are referral traffic, engagement, follower growth, brand mentions, and conversions.
All right, let's break those down. Referral traffic, that's just how many people are clicking from social media to our website, right?
Yep. Most website analytics tools will show you that.
So I can see how much traffic is coming from Facebook, Instagram, etc.
Exactly. And engagement.
Is that just likes and comments?
It's more than that. It's about how people are interacting with your content. Are they sharing your posts, clicking on links, starting conversations, that kind of stuff?
Okay, so it's about quality interactions, not just vanity metrics.
Exactly. And then follower growth.
Isn't that important?
It can be, but it's more important to have a smaller, highly engaged following than a huge following of people who don't care about what you're posting.
Makes sense. Quality over quantity.
Now, brand mentions.
That's just people talking about us online.
Right. Are they tagging you in posts, sharing your content, saying nice things? Monitoring brand mentions can help you see how people are perceiving your brand and find opportunities for engagement.
It's like having a built-in PR team. Okay, and lastly, conversions.
Conversions are the holy grail. We want our social media efforts to actually lead to sales, signups, or whatever action you want your audience to take.
Right, that's the bottom line. How do we track that?
Most analytics platforms let you set up conversion goals and see how much of that is coming from social media traffic.
So we can actually see which social media posts are leading to real business results. Data is king.
It is. And remember, the beauty of digital marketing is that it's all measurable. You can track your progress, make adjustments, and constantly improve.
Love that. Okay, wow, we've covered a lot of ground today. Social media, SEO. It's a lot to juggle. But I feel like I'm finally starting to see the big picture.
That's great to hear. Remember, social media and SEO aren't quick fixes. They're long-term strategies that take time and effort. But when you do it right, they can be incredibly powerful for growing your business.
So true. It's about building those relationships, providing value, and letting the SEO magic happen organically.
Exactly.
Well, thanks for diving deep with us today. We'll be back next time with another exciting deep dive into the world of digital marketing. Until then, keep experimenting, keep learning, and keep those social media feeds buzzing.